How to get your first job in a new country. I have been there myself. I started my career from zero in a new country, so I know how to do it, I know what worked for me, and I'm ready to share all of that with you. If you're considering to start a career in a new country, first of all, you need to know it won't necessarily be easy. Probably it's much easier if you just stay in your own country where you speak the language, where you know people already, where you have your networking, you have contacts, and you know how things work. So deciding to go to a new country is deciding to get out of your comfort zone. It's decided to start a new journey in your personal life and your professional life. You can't really separate those two things, professional and personal life. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it. I'm not saying it's not a good decision. It can be a very good decision, but you need to prepare yourself for that. You need some guidance. You should learn from people that have done that before to make your life much easier. I have been there myself 13 years ago when I started my new life, my new career in Spain. And I remember it was not easy. I remember I was struggling and I was feeling a bit lost. I tried my best. I was reading about it on the internet. I was talking to people. And at the end of the day, it worked. So let me share my experience with you, and hopefully that will make your life easier when looking for a new job in a new country. My first tip would be flexible about the kind of job and the position you want to get. If you have been working as a manager or an analyst or a higher position in your country, it means that you have the skills, the knowledge, and the experience to do so. That's one thing. But another thing is that you're going to start your new job, your new career in this exactly same position. When you are in a new country, people still don't know you. You have no background there. You have no experience in the country. Maybe your language skills are not as perfect as they could be. So it's going to be more difficult if you apply for a higher job in a high position. It doesn't mean you cannot do it. It just means that companies will have higher requirements in case you're applying for a higher position. That's obvious, right? So if you're able to be flexible about your initial position, if you are okay with going a little bit lower on your job title, that will open much more doors for you. That will make your life easier. It doesn't mean to settle down. It doesn't mean to put yourself under your possibilities or just get used to have a lower position or easier job. It has nothing to do with that. All I'm saying is if you are flexible in this very first job that you're trying to get, that you're applying for, doors can open easily for you. Companies have lower requirements for lower jobs, right? So if instead of applying for a manager position or a supervisor position, you are okay with starting with a more junior position, you have more chances. And remember that once you are already in the company, you will have the chance to show all your potential, all your skills. You're going to talk to people in an informal situation, maybe having a coffee at the break time, maybe having a meeting, doing a presentation. So step by step, people will know you, will see your potential, and it's going to be easier that you get an internal promotion in the company that you already are. You're already a good fit for the company's culture, you know people, you have done similar activities and projects with them, so it's easier that you are promoted inside the company that you are already than that you get a position from the outside if nobody in the company knows you. Another tip would be choose well the company you are applying for, right? If you see that it's a company that you can grow your career on it, that the position you're really aiming for is available at that company, that you can grow, you can develop your skills, you can learn, and you can finally step by step get there, go for this kind of company. If you choose a company that is very small, let's say a familiar company, that the owner is the president or has the higher position in the company, that's going to be more difficult for you to grow because, it's a family company and probably the owner will promote his son or his daughter to do it, or unless the owner dies, you won't be able to reach a much higher position. So if you can go for multinational companies or bigger companies that a career path is real and is possible, amazing, because you know your own potential, you know your skills, so you know that you can grow and you can get a higher position with time. So choose wisely the companies that you want to apply for. What if you really can't find a multinational company, a big company to apply for, and you find a position that you are happy with to start, but the company is much smaller? Is it worth it to get this job, even if I know that I won't be able to get promoted in the future? Or shall I keep waiting for a big multinational company to hire me? Well, that depends on you. If you're struggling a bit with money, if you have been searching for a job for months and you really need to pay your bills, go for this job. In any case, it's going to be your first international experience, your first experience in that country, and that for sure will make a big difference, a positive impact already on your curriculums. Recruiters in general, they value a lot when the person worked in the company already, even if it's in a lower position, even if it's in a different sector, but that means that you know how the work system works in that country, that you were able to pass, to prove in a recruitment process that you're already kind of used to that system. So the first job is really important, even if it is in a smaller company, and even if you don't see a career progression, real possibilities in that company. Get experience there, learn how people work in that country, learn about the company environment, learn about day-to-day in that new company, and that for sure will help you and give you tools for your next job that you're applying for. If you're really okay, that's all very nice, but you know what? I need to pay my bills. I have been searching for a job for a long time and I'm not finding anything. I'm running short of money. What shall I do? Well, in this case, if you're really short of money, one more reason for you to be more flexible about the kind of job you're looking for. It doesn't mean you're going to stay in that job forever. It just means that you need an easy solution for your financial situation. So you got to start working something. Go for jobs that you can use maybe your own native language, customer service positions, for example, call center, service desk positions, translator, tour guides, anything that you have a contact with people and that your own language can be a tool, can be a plus for you, because your own language is something you know, and that can be a big advantage in the new country. So I'm not sure if those jobs will be super well paid, but again, you have a goal, which is pay your bills. You need money urgently. So be flexible with your initial position and use your own native language as a tool, as a plus that you have when looking for this initial job. I have seen people that they get accommodated, they settle down in this initial job that they got, because they struggled so much to find it, because they're just tired, or because they're making some money, so they just think, why am I going to start all over again, applying for jobs, doing interviews, if I already have some job? There is no judgment here. That's a very personal decision. Each person should know how far they want to go in their career path, how challenged they want it to be, or if they are okay with a job that is not at all related to their previous background and experience in the new country. There is no right and wrong answer here. The thing is, you don't need necessarily to be accommodated in the very first job you get in the country, because that puts much more pressure on you, right? If you think that the first job you're going to get is going to be the job you're going to have, the job of your life, or that you need to stay there forever, that's going to be much more difficult to move ahead with that. I prefer to take the first job as it is, the first job that you're going to have. And all the rest will come with time. You might really enjoy the new experience and the new area and the new position and decide in a volunteer way to stay there longer. And hey, that's fine, that's perfect. If you're enjoying it, if you're having a nice experience, meeting new people, learning things, making a good money, that's it, go for it. But if you start this new job and you still feel that, I don't really feel comfortable here, this is not my place, I know I can do more, that's okay. Just put things in perspective. Remember, this is the first job. It doesn't need to be the job of your life. It doesn't need to be your dream job. It just needs to be the first experience you're having in that country. So do your best, be professional, be responsible. Remember, those people, your current manager can give good reference about you to your future employers. So just make sure you leave a great mark and you're doing the job the best that you can, because this job can open doors for you in the future also. But you don't need to settle there. You can be doing this job and already searching for another job, more aligned with your skills, with your career, with your background. But again, recruiters value a lot when you already worked in the country. That gives you credibility that will definitely help you in your future job search. When I moved to Spain 13 years ago, at the very beginning, I did all kinds of jobs. When I remember that, like things totally unrelated with my studies, with my profession, and with my previous job experience. It's not that I was super happy with those experiences, but I understood that it was a necessary step in my career. I was new in the country, nobody knew me, and I wanted to start somehow. I was open, I was flexible, and as far as the jobs were not completely different than my values and the things I believe, I was okay with doing that. I was flexible, and that was important to put the first step in the first job and start being familiar with that new culture, new system, and all of that. In the back of my mind, I was always trying to find ways to get a better job. I never settled. And that was okay, because I had something, I could pay my bills, I could make people, I could meet people, I could add a new experience in my curriculum. But I was also open to different job opportunities. From time to time, I was doing job interviews, I was sending my curriculum to new jobs, I was moving my LinkedIn and making new connections. And step by step, not that long actually, I started working again in my career. I was back to human resources, and I was improving my own experiences, creating networking, because that's another thing that is very important. Once you start working, you meet people, and people can refer you to future jobs. People can give you reference. People can let you know about open positions in the companies that they are working for. So don't underestimate the power of knowing local people. That can happen if you connect online with them, if you do online networking, for example, on LinkedIn. That's a very powerful tool to connect with people in the new country, start establishing your networking there in the new country, but also face-to-face connection with people. And that can perfectly happen in your current job, even if it is in a different sector or in a different area. Don't underestimate that. Talk to people, show your value, let them know your history, your background, and even if you are working now in a different area, they will know what you're capable of. They will know about your previous experience, and you never know what they can do with that information. So don't be shy, go out there, talk to people, talk about your previous experience, and be very thankful and very respectful for the chance you are having to have your first job here. Do not complain, do not blame your company, do not be negative about it. Nobody likes negative people around, so just be thankful for your first job, for the opportunity you get, because that will for sure be the first step, not the last, but the first step to your career in your new country. Another very common question is, how do I justify that I was a manager, a supervisor in my country, and now I'm applying for an entry-level position, it's going to look very bad in a job interview, right? Not necessarily. Depend on how you put the situation, depend on how you deal with that, depend on how you manage the answer for that. Probably the recruiter will ask you, why are you applying for such a lower job? Why are you willing to do that? In this case, my tip is be sincere. Tell the truth. Share your real motivation to do that. You can say easily, look, this is my first job in the country. I know I must be flexible. I'm open to that. I want to learn. I'm ready to start from the beginning. And don't forget to say, I know my potential. I know I can grow. I know I can do other things. I know I can contribute to the organization. So I'm ready and open to learn and to start my first job in the country. Companies will love that. They really love motivated people. People that are flexible, open to learn, and people that are not very picky. Oh, I want to be a manager. Oh, I want to be a supervisor. Don't go this way. Not at least in your first job. Later on, once you build up your career in the country, you can be more choosy and go for positions that are really aligned with your potential. But we are talking here about the very first work experience in a new country. So show your flexibility, show your real motivation and commitment to the new job. And most likely companies will be open to that. Another point is entry-level jobs, they normally are more flexible about the requirements for the position, right? If you are applying for manager positions, the requirements will be much higher. So if you don't meet those requirements straight away, company have a good justification, a good explanation to say, no, you're not approved for the interview. So if you go for higher positions, remember, companies will ask for more things, more studies, more experience, more language level, and all of that. On the other hand, when you go for entry-level, more junior positions, the requirements will be lower, which is amazing because it just makes it easier for you to start, to get that job, which is what you want, right? So if you start in a lower position, you can grow inside the company, and those initial requirements won't be a problem because you're already going to be there in the company, working and showing all your potential. So flexibility is the key here. If I had to summarize everything in one word, would be flexible. Understand how this first job is connected with the next steps you're going to do for your career, but it's just the first step. You need to put your first feet in the country. You need to leave a mark and have your first work experience because everything is going to be much easier after that. If you consider that this information was helpful to you, if it opened your mind for new ideas and new experiences, please click in like, share the content, and you might help other people that also need to receive this information. I would love to hear from you. What do you think about it? How was your experience when you just arrived in a new country? Does it make sense, everything that I said, or do you see things in a totally different way? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any specific question, if you have a doubt, go ahead and share. I will be very happy to read your question and it might inspire me for a new video here soon. Don't be shy. Click like, share this content and let me know in the comments, how do you feel about it? What is your experience? Why do you want to move to a new country? Do you feel ready to move to a new country? What are you struggling more when you think about moving to a new country? Do you feel ready to start a new career in a new country?